there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel, the owner and creator here at the Eclectic Cottage in Spokane, Washington. Happy Saturday, everyone. For today's video, I have a couple more thrift flips for you. They are definitely more fall themed and made me kind of tap into my creative side a little bit more than usual, especially the first project. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get into it. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. My first project for today is going to be a little bit of an experiment. I have been wanting to try the new Paintable Decoupage papers by Roycycled Treasures for a little while, and I figured I just needed a good piece that didn't cost me too terribly much to try them on. So I recently picked up this little tray. I think I paid $1.50 for it, and I figured it would be the perfect canvas to try out some of that paper. So I began by giving the inside of the tray a couple coats of Fancy Farmgirl by DIY. You can see there the little wooden tray actually cracked just a little in the middle. So I did sand everything smooth and also got rid of any brushstroke marks that were left in the paint. Now, when I first grabbed this tray out, I really thought about adding the paper to the inside of the tray, but I decided against it. I just didn't want my difficulty level to be any harder than I needed it to be. So again, I just decided to paint the inside instead. Kind of glad I did, especially with that cracking that happened. I rinsed it off once I was finished sanding, wiped it dry with a shop towel, and then I was ready to begin work on the front side of it, which is technically, I guess, the bottom. And I began by cleaning it up really, really well to get ready for some paint. Now, of course, for decoupage paper, it's always best to put it over a white background just because that makes the images really stand out well. So I decided I would do that with this tray, and I am beginning by giving it a couple of coats of the Cottage color by DIY called White Linen. I like using the Cottage color under my decoupage papers because I don't have to worry about my medium reactivating my paint and having that leach up into my paper. For the paper, I decided to go with this one called Paintable Harvest. This is a beautiful, beautiful paper with pumpkins and acorns and birds and butterflies. Just a really nice design. So I cut out what I needed to cover my piece. I gave it a little spritz of water just to loosen up the fibers and get rid of the wrinkle, and then I began the decoupage process. I'm using DIY's clear liquid patina for my medium. I'm just putting on a good coat of that down first, and then once I have that all smoothed out, I'm going to lay my paper down over it, smooth it out with my fingers a little bit, and then go over it with a second coat of the medium. I use my brush at this point to help push out any air bubbles or wrinkles, and then once that's done, I move on to another strip of medium so that I can keep working my way up the piece. Once my decoupage paper was completely dry, I grabbed a piece of 220 grit sandpaper and just very carefully sanded around the edge to remove the excess paper. Then it's on to the experiment part of this project that I was honestly a little bit nervous for. I grabbed out several colors of DIY paint. This one is Summer Crush, which I'm going to be using on the big pumpkin. And I am thinning it out with liquid patina, clear liquid patina. This helps make your paint transparent so that you can see the design underneath it with all of the beautiful shading that's there. And you're basically just adding some color over the top. Now, when I first started this project, I was really hoping to have more of a watercolor kind of feel to this. So I went outside the lines a little bit with the paint, and I really thought it would bleed a little, and it kind of didn't. And so I kept doing that with a few of the different pieces that I was coloring in at first. And I realized that it wasn't turning out quite as I was hoping. So I ended up changing my tactic a little bit as I went. And one of the things I did realize is that adding more water to the liquid patina paint mix really helped it have more of that watercolor feel. And you can see here I used Prom Queen mixed with the patina and some water, and it definitely had that kind of transparent watercolor where it was a little darker in places and a little lighter in others kind of feel, which is more of what I was going for. I also used the Prom Queen to go back around the edges of the first pieces that I had painted. I really decided I didn't like the outside of the edges feel that I had started with, and so I tried to sharpen up those as much as I possibly could. They ended up being close, but not quite perfect, but definitely good enough for my first try at these papers. Once I had the background all painted, I went ahead and let everything dry a little bit, and then I just started using different colors to fill in the rest of the pieces of this paper. Here I'm using Farm Fresh. I used more fancy Farmgirl. I threw in some Monet's Garden. I used layered chocolate, a little bit of Queen Bee for the yellow on the bird, and just had fun mixing the colors and going back over areas to darken them with a little more paint for shadowing, and just really kind of relaxed and enjoyed this painting process. I have to say, it was a lot of fun, and I honestly lost track of time while I was doing this. To give this a little bit more interest, I decided to make it into a sign for fall. And I have this stencil that I bought on Amazon a couple of years ago that says Hello Pumpkin. And I am pouncing or stippling a little black dress over the stencil using a stencil brush. I just dip my tips of my bristles into the paint, and then I pounce it off once onto a dry shop towel, and then go in so there's not too much gooky paint on my brush as I'm pouncing that down. I got a pretty good impression, but with these there are little lines where the stencil is held together, so I filled those in with a little artist brush and more little black dress. And once I'd finished with the stencil, I decided the outside edge could really use a little something. So I grabbed out my StazOn ink pad and I just went around the edge and used that pad to brush on a touch of that black ink just around the edge. And once I was finished with that, I wanted a little something more. So I took the flat face of the pad. Now, mind you, this pad is older and it doesn't have a lot of ink on it. So I very carefully went around the outside edge of the entire sign and just patted a little bit of that black ink to add a bit of a border to my new sign. I decided that there just wasn't quite enough ink that was going down onto the edge, so I ended up grabbing out one of my little artist brushes and dipping that into, or onto, I guess, my StazOn pad, and going around to try to add just a little bit more of that black ink around the very, very edge of my sign. I liked the effect of this a little bit better. I thought that it added the perfect amount of shadow to just really frame this piece in. Lastly, it's time to seal my stencil and the green paint. Now, I like to use a spray sealer over my stencils to avoid any kind of smudging or smearing. And so I just decided to go ahead and go over the entire top so that the finish was all the same. And then I used the spray sealer to seal the green paint as well. In the end, I have to say I'm pretty happy with how my little experiment turned out. There were a few mistakes. There were some things I would probably have done differently, but at least now I know, and I feel a little bit more confident and comfortable with the thought of using these papers again in the future. For my second project, I pulled out this ceramic pumpkin that I've had in my stash for a while, and I am starting by giving it a couple of coats of the DIY cottage color called Anvil. Again, I am going to be decoupaging this, and I know that I have told you guys a million times that you should decoupage over a white background, but in this case, I really wanted a more muted, darker toned, kind of moody feel to what I was going to be decoupaging over it. So I decided to go with a dark color as my background. And again, I like the cottage colors for decoupaging over because they do have that built-in sealer, and I don't have to worry about my decoupage medium reactivating my paint and having any color leach up into my decoupage product. For this project, I'm using 3-ply paper napkins, and I'm first tearing off 2 of the plies to leave just the one that has the pattern to it. Now, the pattern for these napkins is definitely a little more brightly colored and springy, which is one of the reasons I wanted a darker background to help mute those colors a little bit and make them feel a little more moody, like fall. For my decoupage process, I like to tear my napkins into chunks and put them down a little bit at a time. And I'm just using the same decoupage process as I always do, adding a coat of the liquid patina down first, laying my napkin over the top, and then using my paintbrush to push that napkin down, making sure that I have the least amount of bubbles and wrinkles as possible as I add that top coat of medium. With these napkins, it is nearly impossible to not have any wrinkles at all, but you just have to kind of embrace that that is part of this process and just go with it, I guess. So that is what I am doing. Once I have my first piece applied, I just work my way around the pumpkin, adding more chunks of decoupage paper, using my brush to flatten them out as best I can with that top coat of medium, and applying paper everywhere, making sure that I am covering the entire pumpkin. In the end, I think it took me about an hour to completely cover my pumpkin with the napkin chunks. But I have to say, it was a very enjoyable process, and I really love the outcome. Once my decoupage paper was nice and dry, I grabbed out my golden ticket liquid patina by DIY, and I put a coat of that over the stem of the pumpkin just to give it a little bit more color so that it stood out a bit better against all of the black that was on the pumpkin itself. After I finished the stem, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more of that gold color to my pumpkin. So I took out my small kind of pointed artist brush, and I am dry brushing a little bit of that golden ticket down into all of the grooves around the pumpkin. So I'm dipping my bristles just barely into the golden ticket, wiping most of that back off onto a paper towel, and then going in and adding just a shadow of that into all of these grooves. I also used it as a highlight in places as well. It was definitely a little bit of a time-consuming project, but in the end, I absolutely love the way that this pumpkin came out. I really hope you guys like it as much as I do. Well, that is it from here for today, you guys. I hope you liked my projects, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. What did you think of my experiment on the first project? I have to say, I really enjoyed how it ended up coming out. I loved the process. I learned quite a bit. And I hope that I helped you if you might have been on the fence as to whether or not you wanted to try one of the paintable papers yourself. Honestly, it was really a fun process, so I would highly recommend. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. I so appreciate that. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and then just hit that little notification bell so you don't miss anything. And then, of course, don't forget to drop a comment below and let me know what you thought of my projects for today. Just a quick reminder, the paint and products you see me use can be purchased through me at my website, and that is www.theeclecticcottagespokane.com, listed below in the description box. I carry DIY paint and products as well as Sweet Pickins milk paint and products, along with some Roycycled Treasures decoupage papers, and of course some redesign with Prom. So check those out there. And for Wednesday's video, fingers crossed, I'm hopefully going to have a junk run or thrift haul for you guys. We are going out again tomorrow to go out to the Goodwills and hopefully a couple yard sales. We'll see what's out there. But with any luck, we'll have enough stuff to actually do a thrift haul. So fingers crossed again. Anyway, until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend and beginning of the week. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you back here on Wednesday. Bye.